¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Thursday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Thursday morning. Howdy, howdy, everybody. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so let me make sure we've got everything set up here. Okay. All right, folks. It is Friday Junior. Friday Junior. We are just that much closer to the weekend. Alright, folks, we gotta hit the ground running. Let me go ahead and get this over here. Wait, what did that person say? Oh, who? The band? The band person? Oh, it was a, sad to disappoint, but it was just a bot that got clapped. It was a bot that got clapped by another bot. Posadabot clapped a followers, primes, and viewers. Buy your viewership today. Do you want to become Twitch famous? Pay your way to the top, folks. I'm just kidding, that actually doesn't work. Thank goodness for Posadabot. Makes life so much easier. How awkward would it be if you bought your viewers like you're talking to bots? Is that real? Yeah, like even if, well, I don't think you can do that. According to Twitch anyways. And there are services where you would be talking, well, they would be real live chatters, but they're not like real viewers in the sense that like they're not coming here to hang out. They're coming here to boost your numbers and will make random messages to look like real people, right? Or to look like you have a fan base, I guess, that's going on there. So you're not, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense because like if you are talking to bots, eventually Twitch will find out, and yeah, that's a no-no. But there are services that will actually dedicate like people to you, which is really awkward because like you're not really like talking to your chat necessarily. I mean, you're talking to people, but not folks who actually like found you organically, which would be very awkward. You might as well just talk to yourself, right? You might as well just do your thing. Like for that, I if it was, well, you know, if it's me, because I do, you know, news and politics and whatnot, I would rather just read the news, you know? I mean, I do that anyways. I would rather just commentate and just kind of do my thing anyways. I'll never understand like buying followers or views. Wouldn't you feel bad that it's all fake? It would feel weird. It would feel empty. You know? It would feel empty. Like the numbers would technically be there on paper, but it would be like it would be like buying an NFT. And there we go. It would be like buying an NFT. Like I know I have it, like I know I have something, but it doesn't feel real, you know? I mean, like, sure, you've got, like, followers, but none of them are real, so it's kind of like talking to a void. It would just be very awkward. Like, I get it, because, like, under certain circumstances, a X amount of followers or views gets pushed up by the algorithm, and you kind of just like the idea would then be kind of fake it till you make it, which is but again, like that's kind of weird because like at some point that's all gonna fall apart, right? Like that's all gonna just crumble because it's not real. But like I completely get it. I completely get it. Oh yeah, for Instagram for sure, but I'm not one to hang out in Instagram a lot. I have an account. I have an account for a difficult truth, but I don't really use it. Like I don't know, nor do I have the time to really like get into Instagram. I know that it can be good, but I just can't. It's already exhausting trying to do the whole social media thing. I'm barely like on Twitter or anything like that. For a very good reason. And I mean, I think the one social media that I've been more consistent on is, and believe it or not, it's actually pretty good as a social media, is TikTok. I've been more consistent on TikTok, but I don't have time. Um, I don't have time to be posting on like all the social medias all the time. That would be a full-time job. Like if I start like doing more stuff on TikTok, I'm already trying to be more consistent. Um on TikTok I try to be more consistent, but I do have to pick another social media to be a little bit more active on. Probably I would say Twitter or YouTube would be the one at some point. But my mom uses TikTok, so it made me not want one. Oh boy. I can only imagine. The one thing I will say about TikTok though is, oh man, is there so much conspiratorial nonsense on TikTok. There's like a whole community of like conspiracy theories and all this other stuff. And there's a lot of fake videos. There's a lot of fake videos. Some of which are, I would argue, pretty dangerous to be honest. Howdy, howdy. I came in at a riveting time. Oh yeah, we're talking about TikTok and social media and buying followers. It's too many kids on TikTok for me. Well, I don't know. There's lots of there's lots of boomers on TikTok too. Believe it or not. Morning, morning. Is it less is it less regulated than YouTube with the conspiracies? They do have terms of service, and those terms of service do entail like obvious misinformation. I think especially when it comes to um a little bit more serious topics, like for example, COVID. That can be flagged, but for the most part, I mean, like, I think you can get away with a lot more stuff on TikTok, especially if you just kind of make it known that it's like a parody account or fake account or something like that, or entertainment. I think is what you can get away with by labeling it as entertainment. Or sometimes, if I remember correctly, if you see, like, they'll flag it and they'll put a little thing that says this is like dangerous, do not attempt, or something like that, or the following content shows things that are not safe, or some kind of little disclosure. So you get that, but I definitely think that you can get away with more stuff on TikTok than you can with YouTube. But I've seen some pretty wild stuff on TikTok. I've seen this guy who makes fake videos about being able to learn how to breathe underwater. I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna get somebody hurt with that. If somebody unironically believes that there are ways that you can learn to breathe underwater, yeah, no. Hi from a lib boomer. Howdy. Wait, was the breathing underwater? What was that breathing underwater thing? I had to take a call. This is there is like a channel on TikTok, or I guess an account on TikTok, and it was claiming that if you follow these steps or follow their training, that you could learn how to breathe underwater. I kid you not. Hey, spread it forward. I think Carlos. I think we should be more. We should be. I don't think we should be responsible for people not having common sense. Well, true, true, but I guess um I guess we can say, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing that. Have you heard that that hyperoxygenated fluid you can breathe in, and needs to be like 95% oxygen and a special fluid? I have no idea. Did the account get taken down? I don't think so. Well, I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe it did. Yeah, just breathe underwater. I don't have TikTok because I don't want China in my life. Well, buddy, unfortunately, if that's the standard, um, I mean, unironically, almost everything that you own, including the phone or computer that you are typing in, um, it's already too late, my friend. Imagine thinking you broke the Matrix and could become a fish. What? I mean, yeah. Simulation is broken, folks. Hey, Heat, how's it going? Yeah, like, I don't even know. Like, first of all, like, the parts and the stuff that you're talking about, um, for example, uh, your computer. I mean, like, that's it. Even in the walls, true. You have to be, you have to do it like a vat of the fluid, and literally only breathe it like a kind of womb. Oh, I haven't actually. Man, I feel like I've seen something like that somewhere. I'm just not sure. Wait, did Dr. Oz get fired from the White House? Because I didn't even know he worked there. What? Wait, Dr. Oz never worked in the White House, did he? Huh. Well, that's news to me. America is a parody. Yeah, true. It's trending on Twitter. What? Alright, Bird app. Show me. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Search Twitter. No, I want where do I see trending? Explore. Trending. Jesus, why are ICBMs trending? Holy yikes. Someone also posted that they could use a washcloth to break them their water. Well, no. No, no, no. Oh, North Korea? Okay, now that makes sense. And South Korea. What? Presidential Council? Oh. What? Hold on, this is actually true. Biden requests Dr. Oz. Is it Met? I can't pronounce this. I'm never going to be able to pronounce that. And Herschel Walker to resign from presidential council or be terminated. Has formally asked two Trump-appointed members of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition to resign from their posts or be terminated. Oh, I see. What? Oh no! Oh no! 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 Is this for real? Spread it forward. Can you post a link? All right, let's actually check this out. I think I saw it back here. Trending ICBMs. All right, let's see what's going on. I see. So everybody's firing off their toys. Look at that. North Korea becoming bolder now that Daddy America's busy somewhere else. I guess. You'll see Manafort trying to escape the country? What? Can you post a link for that one? That's a good meme. We have sanctions on North Korea? Yes, we do. They're one of the more heavily sanctioned countries, yeah? Still hasn't stopped them from, still hasn't stopped them from testing missiles and whatnot. Lots of stuff going on today, yeah. Apparently. You didn't see that news yesterday? No, can you send that to me, please? Because that's a good meme. That's a great meme. I can't believe I didn't catch that. So everybody's just showing off their toys. Not good. Russia has more sanctions? Yes, and more coming, I think. Still hasn't made them stop. Oh boy. No way. No way. Trump aide Manafort removed from plane for revoked passport. Uh-oh. Oh man, of course, Florida. Former Trump advisor Paul Manafort was removed from a plane at Miami International Airport before it took off for Dubai because he carried a revoked passport. Uh-oh. Miami-Dade police detective Alvaro Zabaleta confirmed that Manafort was removed from the Emirates airline flight without incident, but directed further questions to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Oh man, the memes write themselves here. That agency did not immediately respond to an email on Wednesday seeking comment. A lawyer who has represented Manafort did not immediately return a call and email seeking comment on Wednesday. Manafort led former President Trump's campaign for several months during the 2016 race, but was ousted in August that year after revelations about his business dealings in Ukraine. That's weird. Isn't that what they're trying to, accuse Biden of? He was later indicted on a board of array of financial crimes as part of special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into ties between the Trump campaign and Russia. He was convicted by a jury in August of 2018 and later pleaded guilty in federal court in Washington. He had just left Mar-a-Lago. Wow. He must be running from the January 6th commission? Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. In May of 2020, Manafort was released from a low-security prison where he was serving more than 7-year federal sentence amid concerns about the coronavirus. Although Manafort had not served long enough to be eligible for release under the guidelines, the Bureau of Prisons decided to free him because of his age and health vulnerabilities. A person familiar with the matter said Trump had sent and Trump pardoned Manafort in December of 2020. Damn. Pays good to be a yes man, yeah? Manafort's removal was first reported by the website knews.com. Nice. So this dude was trying to leave the country. This totally not guilty guy. Right, this just screams not guilty. That's a good meme. This is a great meme. It just keeps getting better and better, folks. The total witch hunt that ended up, getting guilty verdicts. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that this dude didn't know that his passport was expired or revoked. So, was he just trying to get himself out of here before what? Before he was subpoenaed or before anything else popped up? Maybe there's more to this story that we'll find out later. Perhaps perhaps we'll find out about another perfect phone call later on down the road, or maybe a perfect email. Or maybe we'll find out about a very perfect email later down the road. Who knows? Or maybe this dude's trying to do what the other guy did for January 6th. That domestic terrorist who left the country and who fled to Belarus and who was granted asylum after, allegedly assaulting police officers on January 6th. Maybe he was trying to copy his plan, trying to get asylum in Belarus or Russia. Yeah, reason for travel? Fleeing my country. I mean, how did you not think you were going to get, stopped? If your passport is revoked, how did you not? Okay. Boy, Hellofresh is not bad. I've got a stack of recipes like this much. I could put all the HelloFresh recipes and make it into a book. They're not that bad. Alright, this was a good meme. This was a good meme. I told you folks, the more this goes on, the more the January 6th investigations happen, the more information we find, and the more the deeper the rabbit hole goes, I should say. Thank you for bringing all of this to my attention. Alright, let's finish this story. First of all, I didn't know that these folks were even in the presidential council. Why would you? Okay. I mean, Trump did appoint them, so it makes sense. Respectively, were appointed in 2018 by then President Trump to serve on the council. Trump reappointed them 2 years and to 2-year terms in December 2020, shortly before he left office. It's against the Biden administration policy for federal candidates to serve on presidential boards, according to White House official. The official said letters to Oz and Walker were sent Wednesday requesting the resignation by 6 p.m. Oh, okay. So this isn't a thing that he is doing because he disagrees. It's more of a way to avoid any type of conflict of interest, because these folks are both running for Senate, if I'm correct. The best is yet to come. True. Dr. Oz, who's seeking the GOP nod in a contentious primary, blasted the move in a statement, said President Trump appointed me to 2 terms on the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, which, by the way, I wouldn't trust Dr. Oz for any of these things, to be quite honest. The White House just emailed me demanding my resignation by the end of the day. Clearly, Joe Biden can't be around anyone who doesn't completely fall in line with his fear-mongering authoritarian one side. Oh my goodness. Bro, you have nothing to do with COVID. With COVID, you're first of all, you're a council on sports, fitness, and nutrition. None of those involve COVID. First of all. Second of all, the reason for the demand of resignation or be terminated was because you're running for Senate, my dude. That's literally it. Who doesn't completely in line fall with his fear-mongering authoritarian one-size-fits-all COVID handling. I am proud of my service and will not resign. Okay, so then either drop your bid for Senate or be terminated. I don't understand what the deal is here. Like this would be the same as being big mad that you're trying to work for both. Like, I don't know, you get mad that a company while you're working for them forbids you from like working again with a competitor at the same time as you're working for that company. I don't get it. Like, you wouldn't really be big mad about that. CNN has reached out to Walker for Walker's campaign for comment. Members of the President Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition are considered special government employees who, per the Hatch Act, may not be candidates in partisan elections while conducting official government business. Right, so, like, again, this is like a conflict of interest kind of deal. Not because of your ideological differences or whatever. Nor does it have to do anything with COVID. Because you don't have anything involved with COVID. You're just first of all, a council. And because you don't, to my understanding, like, there's no policy being dictated from these, council. I don't believe they have like a massive hand in policy dictating, policy implementation. And again, you're a council on sports, fitness, and nutrition, neither of which have to do with COVID. So, okay. That's a good meme. The SCOTUS hearings are again. Maybe you will tune in, briefly.
In the past, and that's a cause for concern. I'm not suggesting that's happening here today, and I take your testimony at face value. I know you've done a lot of hard work, and I appreciate that. That's important. Your voice is important, but I think one of the things that Senator Grassley perhaps alluded to in the past, some Supreme Court nomination proceedings, it's appeared that the American Bar Association has taken sides, so to speak, in controversial nominations. And I'm not suggesting that that's the case today, but I'm just saying that that causes concern about whether we should take the testimony of the standing committee at face value. Or
I'm not saying, but I'm saying. What?
In the political battles that rage here in Washington sometimes over judicial nominations.
Senator, just let me say there's been no communication of our committee with the ABA about any of our work. It is designed so that we can do it separately. Joe?
And Senator, what I will follow up just to say that we're trained to be independent. We basically take an oath amongst our committee members to be independent, and we focus on the three criteria: integrity, judicial competence, and uh, and judicial temperament. And so, in that regard, we focus on the record of the nominee, we focus on the writings of the nominee, and we focus on the feedback we get from the lawyers and judges that practice with the nominee, against the nominee, and administer justice alongside the nominee.
Well, Mr. Drayton, I know part of the questioning of the judge had to do with, for example, sentencing that Senator Durbin and others brought up. Did the ABA itself review Judge Jackson's sentencing memoranda as part of your investigation?
We reviewed the publicly available records for a sampling of her sentencing, including the child pornography cases and the sex offense cases.
The Michigan Supreme Court is deciding whether police can use drone surveillance on citizens. Yikes. And Detroit police is asking for a huge budget increase. Oh boy, do they want their war toys true. Yeah, there's no need for that. There's no need, for no reason. Well, to my understanding, Michigan, isn't that where the huge water problem happened? I believe that was Flint, Michigan. So no, they do not need an increase in budgets for drone surveillance. No, they do not need an increase for budget at all. Apparently, it violates the Fourth Amendment. I mean, I assume it would, but nowadays it seems like rights are arbitrary. No, we do not need a massive increase in budget for the police. No. The police chief said the city is way too violent, then proceeded to say we can't arrest our way out of crime. No, you cannot arrest your way out of crime. Like, how can simultaneously, I don't know how you squared that circle. If you want to reduce crime, you need to find out the roots. You need to find out the roots of why this is happening. And chances are your answers will lie in socioeconomic circumstances. And if you want to alleviate that, then maybe you should reorganize your budget increases towards those things. You would want to increase your budgets on things that would it decrease recidivism. You would want things like food, housing, education, and healthcare. They already have most of the budget. Yeah, like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's not how you do things. Not at all. And if they already have most of the budget, then why, if it's true that they need to have huge budget increases, then where is this all going to? Where is the results that would indicate that more money equals less crime? More money for funding the police equals less crime? Clearly, that's not the case. Correct. So we should allocate funds to places that would be more effective at reducing crime, or at least eliminating the incentives for crimes. And like I said, usually if you want to solve a problem, ideally you would attempt to figure out what the root of that is. And once you figure out the root of said problem, and you would then address, you would then prescribe solutions based on that. There's been a string of especially cruel crimes in Detroit the past week, and I think they're using that as an excuse when in reality it doesn't show work. It shows it doesn't work when we give them money. Right, because if that's the case, then where's all this money going to, right? If they already have most of the budget and crime is still there, like rising according to them, then clearly the money isn't the problem. I feel like maybe this headline could be written better. I feel like this headline could be written better, because it makes it feel like, they're being forced or strong-armed to resign or be terminated. It kind of gives it a negative feel to it, I guess, if you just read the headline, which unfortunately a lot of people just read headlines. So it could give a false impression of something that just isn't. Maybe they should include, especially when it comes to like the headline or the first, the first paragraph at least. Because it makes it feel like, oh my god, the Biden administration is really strong-arming these people into quitting or being terminated, when that's not really, the case. You have to go all the way down. To find out exactly why in this case. That's why in this case they're being asked to do so. They're going to increase police spending even more after virtue signaling of disbanding them. Guess the crime rate increasing was the trigger to the naivety. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. We need more more police. That'll do it. Even though they've already had most of the budget, we just need to keep increasing. What is it? Sunk cost fallacy. I mean, F it. We've already dumped so much money into the police, and it's not working. I guess we need to keep dumping more money, wasting more money. Never mind attempting to figure out what the root causes of the problems are. Never mind attempting to address those. Most of the police can't do anything about it, though. They aren't responsible for failing society overall. Republicans think that police are already defunded. True. Politics throwing money on a problem is stupidity, though? In this case, yes. Lawsuit, how's it going? Howdy, howdy. Folks, if you have a second, please head on over to twitch.tv/lawsuit. Go show them some love, alright? Yeah, I don't think throwing more money away at the police is going to solve, the problem. At all. If it didn't work, what made you think pouring more money into it, would then resolve the issue? Right, throw your money at, like, throw your money at programs that would alleviate socioeconomic issues like housing, like food, like healthcare, like education. All of these things would actually be effective at reducing crime. Right, job training, which is education. Throw that under there. Education can be not only just college and things like that, but trades. Make trades more accessible too. Don't forget drug problems. Yeah, that's healthcare. I did not. That's healthcare. Addictions fall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, like, all of these things would, in effect, be much more effective. All of these things would be much more effective, or dare I say, tougher on crime than any increase on the police budget. You want to be tough on crime? Be tough on the situations. Be tough on the socioeconomic scenarios that make this. Could you imagine how successful Detroit would be if we defunded the police and funded literally everything else, and funded everything else? True. And as these programs, in theory, as these programs get underway, crime would be reduced, and therefore the necessity for such a large police budget would also be reduced, so on and so forth. It's already ruined to the point of no return. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think that. It certainly has been effed beyond effed, I guess. You want to be tough on crime, support land back, and let's end real criminals. There you go. And Troma, howdy, howdy. Folks, if you have a second, please go follow twitch.tv/Introma. We have just wonderful folks in chat today. Alright, folks. So yes, Dr. Hawes and Herschel Walker are being asked to resign because according to the Hatch Act, you can't be a special governmental employee while in a partisan election. Nice. And they are one hell of a radical bass player too. Nice. What you covering? This was brought to us by I think Spread It Forward. Told either Spread It Forward or Thendera. Brought my attention to this article. They made a big fuss about Dr. Oz and Herschel Walker being forced to resign from the presidential council. Dr. Oz, of course, getting on a soapbox. And attempting to just, attempting to do, to do a politics, saying that clearly Joe Biden can't be around anyone who doesn't completely fall in line with his fear-mongering authoritarian one-size-fits-all COVID handling. I am proud of my service and will not resign. How brave. How brave, Dr. Oz. How brave, Dr. Oz. Except, just one small problem. One small problem for folks who take 5 seconds to think about it. You are a council. You are part of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, right? None of those, and this is true, involve infectious diseases. None of those involve healthcare in the sense of dealing with COVID. None of those. Nor do presidential council, to my understanding, set policy. The reality is this is just fake virtue signaling on Dr. Oz's part. Because as I mentioned, per the Hatch Act, you may not be a government employee while, conducting... you may not be a government employee while also being a candidate in a partisan election while also conducting official government business, which as a special government employee, you would be doing so. In other words, you can't do that. So, conflict of interest and all. Is he running for president? No, he's running for Senate. Both of these folks are. So yeah, that's the TLDR on that one. And Dr. Oz is a fake sham as well. True. What's with them? They always hire people who need skin reaction help? Or however it's spelled. I have no idea. But I do know that he was peddling some questionable stuff. Or reaction? I don't know. Did Mo Brooks do some wild shit like a day before January 6th? No. Wasn't he the guy that was wearing body armor? Wasn't he the guy that Wasn't he the guy that was wearing body armor during that speech in January 6th before, I think it was before Trump or whatnot? Mo Brooks says Trump asked him to help rescind the 2020 election. Oh man, the memes write themselves. And of course, this was after Trump unendorsed him. Trouble in paradise, I guess. Mo Brooks on Wednesday issued a blistering response to former President Trump's decision to unendorse him in the Alabama Senate race, accusing Trump of asking him to remove President Biden from the White House following the 2020 election despite his protests. The statement from Brooks, a Trump ally that spoke at his rally on January 6th and was involved in efforts to block the certification of election results that day, seemed to suggest that Trump asked for the lawmakers' involvement in unwinding Biden's victory even after the attack on the Capitol. President Trump asked me to rescind the 2020 elections, immediately remove Biden from the White House, and immediately put Trump back in the White House and hold a new special election for the presidency. Oh, man. As a lawyer, I've repeatedly advised President Trump that January 6th was the final election contest verdict, and neither the U.S. Constitution nor the U.S. Code permit what Trump asks. Period. Brooks' statement comes hours after Trump pulled his endorsement of the lawmaker as he runs for an open Senate seat in the state's Republican primary this year. Trump in his announcement said Brooks had hired a new campaign staff who brilliantly convinced him to stop talking about the 2020 election. Of course, I mean, yes. It's now March of 2022. Like, enough already. Election fraud must be captured and stopped, or we won't have a country anymore, said Trump in a statement. Country is just going to be gone. Chat. We're just going to wake up and there's just not going to be a country. And very sad, but since he decided to go in another direction, so have I, and I'm hereby withdrawing my endorsement of Mo Brooks for Senate. I don't think the great people of Alabama will disagree with me. So he got big mad that this dude came out. He got big mad that Mo Brooks is not going to talk about the election anymore, an election that happened already 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago, in which repeatedly there has been no evidence to suggest that there was some wide conspiracy, some wide coordination of election fraud that would overturn the election results. There's just literally no evidence for that. There's been dozens and dozens of cases, I think above 60 court cases. Nothing. The Department of Justice has refuted Trump's racist claims of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election, of course. It's not just the Department of Justice. I mean, like, the definition of insanity is counting the same votes over and over again and expecting a different result, right? This is what Mo Brooks said on January 6th. Oh, this is a relevant quote. Quote, today is the American Patriots. Today is the day American Patriots start taking down names and kicking ass, Brooks said. Now our ancestors sacrificed their blood, their sweat, their tears, and their fortunes, and sometimes their lives. Are you willing to do the same? Oh, man. Oh, boy. Talk about calls to action, huh? Talk about calls to action. Are you willing to do the same? My answer is yes. Louder, are you willing to do what it takes to fight for America? I think that's a very relevant quote there. Oh, boy is correct. All that while wearing that vest that he totally didn't plan for, right? It is stochastic terrorism. 100%. 100%. I mean, what else? Especially, like, what else do people that already have this preconception that has been pumped repeatedly by the president? How do you think they're going to take that? How do you think they're going to take language saying to literally be willing to lay down your lives, to sacrifice blood, sweat, tears, fortunes, to, quote, fight for America? What do you think that these people who already predisposed to this line of thinking are going to do? Bob Dragon. How's it going? Hope you're having a great day. You too. Howdy, howdy. The ex-president, we're 1 year, 4 months and 21 days since November of 2020. Gotcha. Wait, that doesn't sound right. November, then November of 2020, November of 2021. Oh yeah, that does make sense. Wow, I cannot do math. The truth is, yes, that's right. That's right, the truth is, black slaves did all the work, and that, as well as us natives, did more, but as always, they act like they did everything. True. Sorry, Mo Brooks, but our ancestors were just genocidal. Yes. Yes. I highly recommend y'all read the book 1491. And what's really sad is a lot of it, well, a good chunk of it was driven by religious fundamentalism. I mean, think about it, right? A lot of what happened, and just in regards to to the indigenous peoples, a lot of it was due to their belief that these, to use their words, these savages needed to be, corrected. That's what they considered them. And when you're done reading 491 Pigs, go check out Twin Rabbits on YouTube. Yes, they do fantastic work. They do fantastic work. In fact, hold on. There you go. Go follow and subscribe. So yeah, a lot of the history during that time period was, especially like the actions taken against indigenous folks, were done with a root of some type of like religious fundamentalism. I mean, like the Christians, Catholics, I think, destroyed many records. Many records of what could have easily been categorized as incredibly rich society, an incredibly rich society and culture that is now just burnt. But yes, I agree, Lawsuit. Absolutely, go check out that link is right there. And yeah, 1491 is it's a bit of a read. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of a read, but definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. I'm still like at a quarter of the way. Wait, I may have gotten a little bit further. I have to look back. I may have gotten a quarter of the way or more. True, spread it forward. True. I'll put it on my list. I have like 6 books to read and I'm in the middle of one. I have so many books to read. James Napper is like he comes in sometimes, James Napper Tandy, and just drops so much stuff. So I've got so many things on my pile, that it's gonna take so much to get through it all. I still haven't even gotten to the book that Sourcing Support recommended. I think it was called Darkness by Design. Yeah, I have so much stuff. I hate reading, but I want to know stuff. True. I mean, like once I get past like the first like paragraph or like a couple of pages, then I can kind of like get traction and finish a book, but ooh. It's not, but it so happens that people that have experience that tend to perpetuate that. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I think there's some truth to that, absolutely. Right, because you see it in, for example, just to give you an example, like abusive parents, despite the child could be different, of different minds, but they end up gravitating towards that as well. So I believe there is some truth to that. I don't believe it's like genetic, but certainly very influential. As well as the Doctrine of Discovery was and is one of the most racist written docs made. What? I've never actually seen this before. Let me Oh. Holy yikes. Jesus. The Doctrine of Discovery included all doctrines, policies, and practices based on advocating superiority of peoples or individuals on the basis of national origin or racial or ethnic, or racial, religious, ethnic, or cultural differences. Jesus. You've never seen or heard of it, yet it affects your whole life? Yes. I'm just reading it now. Surprise, surprise. This was through the Catholic Church. The Pope Alexander VI, which played an instrumental role in the Spanish conquest. Which, yes, that goes back to, my ancestors, yes. Which played a central role in the Spanish conquest of the New World. The document supported Spain's strategy to ensure its exclusive right to the lands discovered by Columbus the previous year. Jesus. The papal bull stated, by decree of the Church, that any land not inhabited by Christians was available to be discovered, claimed, and exploited by Christian rulers, and declared that the Catholic faith and Christian religion be exalted and be everywhere increased and spread. This is this is like pre-manifest destiny. To spread that the health of souls be cared for, and there you go. That's that term, barbarous, what? Barbarous nations be overthrown and brought to the faith itself. Literally manifest destiny. I'm glad I can help you awaken. Man, this stuff is oof. I'm sure that I would certainly hope that that book touches upon this, because this is right up that alley. 1493. This doctrine of discovery. Yeah, so basically this anointed and blessed by the Church, essentially, that deemed that every barbarous nation, all the indigenous folks, to be overthrown and brought to the faith itself. Which, of course, that entailed whatever means and torture necessary. And because, of course, the Christian religion needed to be exalted above all, anything that was deemed not was to be burned. The Doctrine of Discovery became the basis of all European claims in the Americas, as well as the foundation of the U.S. Western expansion. Oh, yeah, there you go. I didn't even have to read that far. I should have just continued reading. Became the basis of all European claims in the Americas, as well as the foundation for the U.S. Western expansion. That's manifest destiny, folks. I should have just kept reading. Is this why people have trying to be query about more Brooks shit? Reminds me of everything Mormon I heard growing up. Jeez. In the U.S. Supreme Court case in 1823, Johnson versus McIntosh Chief Justice John Marshall's opinion in the unanimous decision held that the principle of discovery gave European nations an absolute right to the New World lands. In essence, indigenous folks only had a right of occupancy which could be abolished. Correct, with the addendum, with the asterisk that if it's, especially if it's non-Catholic or non-Christian, then it's like you are compelled to do so. I mean, if you want a quick, like, TLDR of this, jeez, this is wild. Check out the Gilderman.org, Gilderman.org, Institute of American History. This is some good stuff. If you want a TLDR. I'm so happy to be able to intro to you to this, Carlos. I appreciate that. I appreciate knowledge. Any way, shape, or form, especially like stuff like this. Wait, why isn't it? Why? Oh. Wait, have I just been... have I just been showing a blank screen? Okay, here we go. Sorry. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, especially stuff like this. I think it's important. I really do. I think it's important. Are you suggesting that landowning system possibly are not divinely intended to own and control everything on this planet? Wait a minute. But the Pope hath declared. It says it right here. The Pope hath declared. Oh man. It's wild how many good resources I get from Twitch chat. Yeah. Absolutely. This one is great. I appreciate Lawsuit for bringing that up because this is a good this is a good TLDR. Oh my god. Just a quick excerpt. Lord, this your holy and praiseworthy purpose and desires to be duly accomplished, and in the name of our Savior, be carried into those regions. We exhort you very earnestly in the Lord, and by your reception of holy baptism, whereby you are bound to our apostolic commands, and by the bowels of the mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ, enjoy strictly that insomuch as with eager zeal for the true faith you design to equip and dispatch this expedition, your purpose also, as is your duty, to lead the people dwelling in those islands and countries to embrace the Christian religion, nor at any time let dangers or hardships deter you therefrom. Jesus. But the Pope is the mouth of God. My God. Very dark stuff. Automod. I don't see it here. Actually, everyone. And yeah, that's right. At this point, we would queue like aliens meme, the aliens meme guy. It shows to me, but I'm the streamer. Why doesn't it show me to allow or deny that? It's weird. Maybe if you type it out in a different way, it won't catch it. So many conflicting prophets of God. Who do I listen to? Me. For I am the true prophet. Anyways, this is wild. The fact that this just became like the Spanish doctrine of discovery that was done back in 1493 by the Pope at that time had ramifications not only throughout like the Spanish conquest of the Americas, but all the way up until hundreds of years later down the future in the 1800s as the core justification essentially for a manifest destiny. Man, the ripples of one piece of history, one dark piece of history, the ramifications that are seen throughout hundreds of years up to now. It's just wild to kind of put all that together, yeah? That's right, I'm the true Messiah. That's right. So again, I'll post the link so you guys can get like a TLDR of what Lasso was talking about. Wow. You see, I see that one. I see that one. I could allow or deny that one. We're letting in 100,000 refugees from Ukraine into the US. Do you remember how many refugees from Afghanistan we let in? I think we only let in, what, 10? Oh, man. I know it was like a fraction of that number. But I think the way, like, I think the way Sam Cedar approached it was a good way in saying, like, let's turn this into a way of illustrating the necessity to abide by international law, to illustrate why we should have compassion for refugees, no matter what they look like, no matter where, right? They're human beings. So yes, we should use this opportunity as a way to illustrate the importance of treating people like people. To your point, Tendera, that number is 10%, about 10,000 Afghan refugees since August of 2021. So a fraction of that, 10%. And the US is also giving Europe $1 billion to help refugees. Yeah, and again, that should then be a platform to then say, hey, you know what? We should be doing that, and we should be doing that for all refugees across the board, because it turns out, and this is true, they're human beings, okay? Why is the ADT even platforming Automat at this point? All Automat does is suppress the First Amendment. True. True. Yep, just about. Just over 10K. I took the latest sample right here. Wait. This hasn't been since August of 2021. Since January 31st, we have about 68. Hold on, I may be engaging in some fake news. What is this technocratic nonsense? Just grant them permanent status. This is such effing bullshit. I know we can do better, but since the US withdrawal from the military forces from Afghanistan in August, the US has evacuated more than 76,000 to the US. As of January 31st, more than 68,000 Afghans was relocated throughout to the US through Operation Allies Welcome, have been resettled in communities across the country in coordination with more than 290 local resettlement agencies. Approximately 8,000 are still in the process of completing the resettlement and remain in temporary housing or on 3 military bases. Yeah, so as of, which I had to correct myself, as of January, the total number has been upped to about 68. that we know of. Oh, 100%. Lost to. 100%. I do think the U.S. could be I think that the U.S. Could and has the potential in terms of resources to not only just lift sanctions, but provide aid to the citizens directly, since the sanctions in reality hit the citizens. That's who gets mostly affected. That's within our power, I think. But it's remains to be seen if that even happens. If that's even a consideration. This refugee temporary status crap is literally just to appease the racist xenophobes. Change my mind. Maybe. I think it's just bad policy. I think we can do better. I think those folks who really want to be here it shouldn't be a problem, Alright, putting the train back on its tracks, folks. A Rolling Stones article in October didn't directly tie lawmakers to the violent assault, but two sources who spoke to the outlet detailed multiple meetings with members of Congress to coordinate contesting the election results and planning the rallies that preceded the attack. They outlined dozens of planned briefings, listing Brooks among those who participated or sent top staffers. Ali Alexander, a Stop the Steal founder who secured a permit to protest on the Capitol grounds, has been vocal about his alleged coordination with lawmakers, posting live streams saying that he had discussions with Brooks along with other two GOP lawmakers. I was the one who came up with the January 6th idea, Alexander said in a video. Something to be investigated, I suspect. People thought that Trump was out of his mind with the build a wall shit, but in truth, it was because they knew that refugees from the South would rise due to climate change. Well, to be quite frank, there's definitely truth to that. For sure. We've been covering multiple stories of folks who have no choice but to pick up and leave because of climate change destroying their ability to grow food, climate change disrupting their ability to run agriculture and things like that, their ability to work because it's just too hot. houses, entire cities being destroyed because of catastrophic weather events, things that they're not prepared for because not only just of resources, but things that just don't happen in certain areas are happening. An example would be like a hurricane. I think it was a year or two ago. There's a really bad hurricane that obviously, doesn't strike that area. It's just very, very, very rare. And all the deluge of water and things like that caused a city to basically be buried through the water. Mudslides. So climate change is a huge, it's going to be a huge driver for sure. Especially as things get worse should we continue to go down the path that we are. That's also part of it, true. Let's write it forward. They've been, and they've known for climate change since like the 40s. Yeah, I mean, they've known like the concept of climate change has been at least thought of about after the industrial as the industrial age started. The notion of climate change has been around since the industrial age started. Their biggest gripe regarding the Mexicans is taking all their jobs. Oh no. Scientists knew carbon emissions affected the climate since the 1890s. Yeah, I think they had like an inkling of it for sure. Because isn't that when the the really heavy industrialization started? And in the United States, in the period of from about 1760 to sometime between 1820 to 1840. So I would suspect like a couple of decades after that, well, you would start to kind of notice, right? We've known about climate change for a very long time, since the early 19th century, I believe. Yeah, we've definitely known for a very, very long time. The wall argument grew after 9/11, after they started claiming gang members were terrorists coming across the border. Yikes. Without a doubt, they knew and understood what was going to happen, and the jobs thing is only part of it, but like, how do they always pick one thing to focus on and hope no one will find out the others? Because it's easy. It's easy to just direct your anger or direct your narrative to as little points as possible to make it as palatable as possible to those who already have those bigoted biases already. You just kind of hammer it down. It's always immigration, that's it. Just be very prominent about immigration. Sprinkle in some kind of America first kind of deal, because it sounds good. sounds good to put, your country first or whatnot, whatever language they want to sprinkle that on top with, and there you go. Boom. Hand that script to Tucker Carlson, and he'll take care of the rest. Trump doesn't believe in climate change, though. He thinks it's liberal hyperbole. True. Well, who knows? I think Glossu also brings up a good point. Alright, folks, we've got to speed run through some of these things. We gotta put the train back on its tracks, folks. Idaho governor signs the bill banning abortion after 6 weeks, modeled after the Texas law. This was the bill that we were covering, I think, the week before. Idaho becomes the first U.S. state to enact the law modeled after the recent legislation passed in Texas that bans abortions after 6 weeks before many women know they're pregnant. The new law, this is where, it gets a bit wild. No, it's a good derail. The new law also allows the father, grandparents, siblings, uncles, aunts, or of the fetus to sue a medical provider who performs the procedure. The bill passed the State House of Representatives and Senate earlier this month and was signed by Republican Brad Little on Wednesday. I stand in solidarity with all Idahoans who seek to protect the lives of preborn babies. Preborn. In other words, not alive. Okay, sure. Little wrote to a letter to Lieutenant Governor Janice McEachin, president of the state senate. However, he expressed worries about whether the law is constitutional and whether it would stand challenges in court. So then why did you sign it? Seems like a bit virtue signally. However, he expressed worries. While I support the quote pro-life policy, which is a misnomer, they are by no means pro-life in any way, shape, or form. In this legislation, I fear the novel civil enforcement mechanism will, in short order, be proven both unconstitutional and unwise. Then why sign it? Why endorse it? The law will go into effect, but opponents say they're already preparing to challenge the bill. One criticism is that prenatal scans often detect cardiac activity very early in pregnancies, and they're not heartbeats. Right. They're signs of what eventually will become a heart. Eventually. By eventually means like at the end. Another criticism is that the family members can sue for a minimum of $20,000 within 4 years of an abortion. Imagine that. While the rapists obviously wouldn't be allowed to sue, their family members could. This is direct incentive. This is direct incentive to commit this act. This is actual financial incentive because, hey, there's 4 years and you're obviously gonna know, if you happen to know that the victim indeed became pregnant and obviously the child was never born, you could then file suit if you have reasons to suspect that there was an abortion that happened after the crime, their family could collect. This is active incentive, active financial incentive. Because, hey, first of all, if you get caught, there's your defense. There's your defense. Yeah, imagine like signing bills that you think are wrong. You square that circle, first of all. Literally financially incentivizing this. Kim Clark, senior attorney at Legal Voice, a nonprofit organization advocating for the legal rights of women, girls, and LGBTQ people in the Northwest, said that this could lead women in abusive relationships being further harassed by their partners and their families. Allowing members of a person's family to bring a claim that could include an abuser where the survivor hasn't reported the assault. Right, because at the end of the day, you have to show and file a police report. Although Idaho is the first law, although the Idaho law is the first in the nation to be modeled after the Texas law, there are a few differences. Both allow for exceptions in the case of medical emergency, but the Texas law does not allow for exceptions in case of rape or incest. In contrast, the Idaho bill does allow for such exceptions. However, women who want an abortion under these exceptions are required to file police reports and show it to the medical provider. What? No, I think that's another bill, Echoresto Dragon, which, by the way, welcome. Another difference between the two pieces of legislation is that the Idaho bill only allows for certain family members of the fetus to sue the medical provider who performed the abortion, but the Texas law allows almost any private citizen to sue any Texas doctor who performs an abortion, intends to perform an abortion, or helps a woman receive an abortion. Jesus. Yeah, after basically the Supreme Court failed to just kind of knock it down from the get-go, allowing something like this to even stand. It's just been across the board. It's just been across the board in all these Republican states. It is effed up. They cry about pro-life till the child is born, then they run for the hills when they need to support the child, right? Yeah, that's correct. Nothing pro-life about that. Nothing about the kids then. They're more willing to put the child into child services, yeah, which are woefully underfunded. Yep, so there it is. Nope, has nothing to do with that. And just making sure this is, well, specifically in my opinion, about controlling women. Right, the one I was thinking of is in Missouri. Lawmakers are trying to deter women from going out of state to receive an abortion. Yeah, there you go. There's plenty of those. There's plenty of those laws that are going to be enacted across the board since, well, I guess it's okay. How will they regulate that? I don't know. The folks who are pro small government will tell you. Will tell you in which ways they want to expand the state police force or something. What are they going to do? Have like an abortion police force? Papers, please. I hope so. I hope so. In an unbelievably weird slip. And an unbelievably sad attempt to virtue signal. Republican Senator Mike Braun says Supreme Court should leave decisions on interracial marriage, abortion to the states. Yeah, this happened. Braun, who made the comments during a conference call which he discussed the nomination of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court, said he'd also welcome rescinding of several key decisions made by the court in the past 70 years to pass the power to the states. Yeah, okay. Critical of activism from the bench, Braun cited a series of landmark decisions made by the court, including Roe v. Wade, which legalized abortion, and Loving versus Virginia, which legalized interracial marriage. When asked by a reporter whether he would consider the Supreme Court potentially striking down Roe this year to be judicial activism, he said that what the justices did to pass Roe in 1973 was judicial activism. Okay. That issue should have never been federalized. It was way out of sync, I think, with the contour of America then. Oh boy. One of the aisle wants to homogenize issues federally, and that is not the right way of doing it. Individual states, he said, should be able to weigh in these issues through their own legislation, through their own court systems. The same reporter asked Braun whether he would apply that same judgment to Loving and Braun versus Virginia, and he said yes. Oh my God. I think that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh on issues like that, then you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical. The reporter also asked whether Braun would say the same about Griswold versus Connecticut, the 1964 Supreme Court decision that a state's ban on the use of contraceptives violated the right to marital privacy. Jesus. You can list a whole host of issues. When it comes down to whatever they are, I'm going to say that they're not going to all make you happy within a given state, but that we're better off having states manifest their points of view rather than homogenizing it across the country as Roe v. Wade did. What? This is actually actually insane. Unless abortions have males get a vasectomy and they can be reversed. True. I wonder if also that will include people who move to a different state permanently. Do these laws and states will try to go after them? I have no idea. Was there any federal law that prevented interracial marriage, or was that just a series of judges that ruled on it? Not sure. True. And this is the justification or the oopsies. I misunderstood a line of questioning that ended up being about interracial marriage. Let me be clear on the issue. There's no question that the Constitution prohibits discrimination of any kind based on race. It is not something that is even up for debate. Well, apparently it was. That's why we had a Supreme Court decision about it. To which your generic answer was to defer to, quote, states' rights. Yikes. And that is not something that is even up for debate, and I condemn racism in any form at all levels by state entities or individuals. Hey, what? You condemn racism in any form at all levels by any state, entity, or individuals? Like, whoa. Wait, did we just have a tacit admission that by a Republican that systemic racism is a thing? No way. Huh. What an interesting tacit admission here. Interesting. I wonder if anybody actually caught that. Braun said, while Jackson seems qualified for a seat on the court, cool. And then there shouldn't be an issue, right? He expects her not to be an activist during her tenure. Huh. Very interesting. Did he have the same type of expectation from Amy Coney Barrett? Because she is an activist judge. How does that fit in? When you're simultaneously saying you don't want activist judges. But it seems like when it comes to things that are important to you, like, you know, making sure women stay in their place, then it seems like you're all for activist judges. Huh. Could there possibly be something different? I don't know. It's just so strange. So strange that he's so concerned about activist judges now. Huh. Interesting.
Are you an IT pro? So you must be using all of these tools.
On the C-SPAN radio app. Washington Journal continues.
Of Indiana, and you'll remember that he was the one who introduced Judge Amy Coney Barrett at the start of her confirmation hearings. Thanks for your time, Senator. We do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Do you have a sense of a current timetable of a confirmation should it happen for the judge?
So I think it's pretty well mechanical at this point, and we knew that here a few weeks ago. We're going to have the committee vote this week, and I think maybe as early as next Monday, I think that vote will come to the floor. Procedurally, if we stay disciplined, I think it should all stay on track. And I think from the tone of what we've seen in the hearings itself, that it was kind of litigated in a much different way than the Kavanaugh hearings. And I think most of the opposition was about what might happen to policies that are important to them should Amy be voted in as a Supreme Court justice. So I think the process is pretty well baked in. So I'm hoping, at least from my point of view, given the outstanding qualities of the candidate herself, that we don't see any drama similar to what we saw a couple years ago.
I was going to ask you that you said it looks like it's on track. What potentially could take it off track in your mind?
It's some obscure procedural things that would have to maybe even involve a lapse on our end. So I think it's very remote that occurs. Don't rule it out. I think every attempt, including throwing the kitchen sink at it, will be made, but those options aren't many. So I think that as long as we stay steadfast, we should see a fairly predictable outcome.
Clearly, you've heard the criticisms of the judge from members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Overall, what did you think of those critiques?
I think that it's about as mild as you can find in this day and age, where literally I do view us kind of as the Hatfields and McCoys. Sadly, I've only been here a little under 2 years, but policy-wise, that's true. And when you do have one side of the aisle that is maybe comfortable with activism at the judicial level, it all makes sense of why the nomination is so important to both sides. But I think that when you look at her intellectual capabilities, her judicial merit, where her values are rooted,
Oh.
it makes it a very difficult case for them to talk about her herself. That's why you have to kind of change it into what she might do in terms of ruling, and possibly taking the court to a place where it won't be as difficult to maybe have some things happen from a more conservative, originalist, textualist point of view happen on the court. That has not been the case, not only recently, but over decades.
That's very interesting. You know, none of this, none of his, concerns are making sure that she's not an activist judge. TYT has a good mix of the difference between Kavanaugh and the current SCOTUS opening. Oof. Who's taking bets on how long before the right wing makes this guy step down for this statement? What? No.
When you hear then of criticisms by some that her presence on the court would lead to a dismantling of the ACA or a dismantling of Roe v. Wade, what perspective do you offer when you hear those criticisms?
Well, for me, I came here primarily focused on trying to reform health care. I think that's sensationalist in the fact that almost every Republican believes in covering pre-existing conditions. I was disappointed when I covered pre-existing conditions, no caps on coverage.
Okay, can you address the activism then? Because that would be activism. That is why this is going right over his head. That's the whole point of electing the judge. The Republicans ran on the appealing of the ACA, on the fact that they are going to dismantle Roe versus Wade. That's what they ran on. What did you think she was there for? Mito Jiva, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. C's going back to the full-on slavery and racisms. Yeah, I mean, like, to him, whether he realizes or not, I mean, it's irrelevant to me, to be quite honest. I don't know what's going on in his head. It's irrelevant, but the idea that he is pushing for this states' rights thing is pretty telling in and of itself. Oh, when he denounced that racism is bad. Yeah, I love how, like, in that comment, it's like the tacit admission that, like, there is such a thing as, like, systemic racism. It does exist. It's like a thing. Whether he realized or not what he was trying to admit to.
In my own business 12 years ago, that ship has sailed. And I think when you spin things politically in a way, it is kind of disingenuous because it's not the case. But on the other hand, we as Republicans were slow-footed not to embrace fixing the number one issue that besets both businesses and individuals, and that's the dysfunction in our healthcare system. But I do
make it a
believe
universal
when you
thing.
make the case that she is going to be the determining factor that would derail what they're interested in politically, that's just not true.
One of those other arguments or criticisms from Democrats particularly was the closeness to the presidential race. What do you think about that argument? And if this were switched to the other side as a hypothetical, would you accept that?
I think you just mentioned what explains why, how and why we're doing it. If these same conditions were in place and the Democrats controlled the presidency and the Senate, it would be done at the same dispatch, if not more quickly. So I think there's a bit of hypocrisy there.
Okay. Yeah, nothing about him being concerned about any activism. Just very weird. Interesting. Alright, folks, but if they make universal, how would they get free subsidies and fund warmongers? They won't. It would be harder, for sure. How can jobs keep you locked in a place if they can't dangle healthcare over you? I don't know. All right, folks, we've got to, unfortunately, we've got to call it. There are a couple of things that I want to go over before we head out, so I'm going to take these last minutes. There are 2 articles that I didn't get to, but don't worry, we'll talk about them on Monday, I guess. There's just so much stuff to cover. Not even 3 hours? I know, I wish. One day. Alright, folks, we've got just enough time to do a quick shill at the end. Folks, consider if you wish to help out the channel and you also are interested in food, consider supporting this month's sponsor, Hellofresh. Stay on track with simple recipes and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients that help limit meal prep and cut back time on the grocery store. You don't gotta go as often, folks, if it comes right to you. I myself personally have used HelloFresh during the pandemic, and it has been a pretty positive experience. There are pescatarian and veggie options as well every week. Plus, if you use !HelloFresh on the chat, you'll see the command there. Or if you use that link and use code POG, SE2534, get up to 16 free meals plus 3 surprise gifts and plus free shipping on your first box. And do what we did, folks. Alright? Do what we did. If you need to stop the HelloFresh thing, the HelloFresh subscription, keep all the recipes and just use them. We have a whole pamphlet of them. We could probably make a cookbook out of them. They're very simple, very easy. And once you're done, just keep the recipes. Easy peasy. So make sure you support our sponsor, !HelloFresh. Check the link. Also check the channel descriptions, channel pages down below. Someone start a hype train. Yes, or like I said, use the code right there, POGSE2534. It does still support the channel without giving a single penny to Amazon. How about that? If you follow the channel, you also get 5 free emotes, including Bakita the cat, which Echo Resto Dragon just put out there. Folks, unfortunately, that is all the time I have today. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lasso. I appreciate that. Thank you. Spread it forward. Heat 420 Mono. I see you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for the subscriptions and the follows. I appreciate it. Folks, don't forget to hit the follow button on your way out and join the YouTubes. Takes 5 seconds. Join the Discord to keep up with any news on the channel. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. Also, go follow Lost 2 and Troma. Alright, go follow twitch.tv/Lost2, twitch.tv/Entroma. You have a good one, Dustin. Thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate that. Don't forget, !HelloFresh. Alright, folks. We are heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya!